All right, welcome to Behind the Scenes with the Community. My name is Lena Ellis. I am the community manager, and I'm joined today by members of my team, Vladimir, Valeria, and Avery, to discuss questions and topics we hear from talent and clients in the forums. To start off the Q&A, let's start by laying out the basics. This question I'll ask to you, Vladimir. What is the Upwork community?
Thanks, Lena. The Upwork community connects users with each other and with Upwork. The community forums are used to ask and answer questions, search topics, learn, exchange ideas, get updates about Upwork, and the exciting new features and products that will be launched. All major feature releases are announced in the forums that also serve as a prime pool of feedback on existing products and a place to discuss and suggest new features. If you'd like to attend an Upwork event or webinar or check our past events, you can find all the information on the community events and webinars page. If you'd like to socialize, stop by our coffee break forum and join one of our discussions or start your own topic. We also have freelancer, client, and new to Upwork forums dedicated to discussing freelancers and client topics, as well as helping new users get a running start on Upwork.
So how can users become a part of the community?
So any user who wants to be part of the Upwork community can join. You don't need to sign up for it. Since the community is public, freelancers and clients can go through the different boards and read the discussion for each. If they want to participate in the discussion, they can just log in using their Upwork account credentials. So for any user who wants to visit the community, they can just click on the question mark icon on the upper right-hand corner of their Upwork account or scroll down to the footer of their Upwork account and click on the community link.
Why should people visit the Upwork community forums as opposed to visiting the Help Center, for instance?
Because we're awesome. Our community has over 6 million members, and they've told us that the forums are a reliable source of information and resources that can contribute to achieving success on the Upwork marketplace. You can tap into that wealth of information at any time directly from your Upwork account and start communicating with fellow freelancers and clients. We have an extensive list of threads with tips from successful freelancers on this topic. Over the years that I've been with the community team, these are some of the top tips from both clients and freelancers we have interacted with. Number one, create tailored proposals for jobs that meet your skill set. Focus on how you can help clients successfully complete their job and achieve their goals. Consider including past accomplishments, projects, and portfolio samples relevant to the job. If appropriate, let your personality shine through and praise the work you do instead of focusing on yourself. Make sure to fully complete your profile. The more fields you complete on your profile, the better your chances of winning work. Know that your profile needs to be 100% complete in order to qualify for badges such as Rising Talent, Top Rated Plus, and Expert Vetted. Ensure your profile is error-free, focused on your category-specific skills, and your skills and experience are clearly described in your profile title and overview. Submit proposals only for jobs that fit your skill set and that you're sure you have experience and time to complete in line with the client's requirements.
Yeah, and to add to what Vladimir said, we actually have a whole thread dedicated to profile feedback, and we suggest anybody who is starting on Upwork visits it. It is pinned at the top of our new to Upwork section, so it's very easy to find. So you can find a lot of great tips there or in other threads in the community. And even if you are not new and you already have some experience on Upwork, some contracts, our most successful freelancers still recommend keeping your profile updated. You may learn a new skill or two and expand your experience, and that can be what your potential client needs. If possible, make sure you also add any relevant portfolio items.
Those are really great tips. Thanks, Vladimir and Valeria. I know we get a lot of freelancers visiting the forums who find the information there very beneficial. Maintaining a stellar profile can lead to greater success as a freelancer, but I also understand that maintaining your reputation and job success score is important. There are a lot of conversations about this, even a huge thread all about the job success score. So, what are the main concerns that were shared in the community around JSS?
Yes, we do see a lot of questions after the job success score updates every other week on Sunday. And freelancers mostly ask why their GSS changed. Why did it go down, even though they only receive 5-star feedback on their recent contracts? And there are some important things to understand. For example, there are several reasons why GSS may change. Public star rating isn't the only metric that goes into the calculation. There are also long-term relationships, higher value contracts, and some contracts that didn't have any earnings at all, and they are all accounted for in the score. Another important thing to understand is that the score isn't a lifetime metric. It's calculated over 24, 12, and 6 months windows. And that means that sometimes changes are caused not by the most recent activity, but by older activity that stopped counting in the score. And finally, clients can provide private feedback on contracts, and that also plays a role in the calculation.
Now, that's important. Why don't we talk more about private feedback? You did mention that private feedback plays a role in the JSS calculation, and this has also been questioned by freelancers in the community. Why are clients allowed to leave private feedback since freelancers aren't aware of what's being shared?
Clients may not be comfortable sharing some nuances of their experience in a public feedback or with a freelancer. So I think it's very common for people to want to avoid confrontation and feedback pressure. Private feedback allows them to be more straightforward.
Yeah, and I'll also like to add about feedback and GSS that jobs with no feedback at all used to affect the score when they represented a significant portion of all freelancers' contracts. However, we recently made changes, and now contracts with no feedback no longer impact job success score. And we posted about it in the community, and it was received really well.
That was received really well. Speaking of making changes, a recent update we made to our TOS was to require all pre-contract communication to happen through Upwork. This means that users can't communicate outside the platform before a contract started. Why is this the case? Why are users required to conduct pre-contract negotiations on Upwork?
Discussing job requirements, contract terms, timelines, and client expectations on Upwork will both help you have a successful outcome of your project and allow easy reference back to your correspondents in an event a situation arises. It also helps prevent wrongdoing. Wrongdoers are very keen on removing communications from the Upwork platform because it allows them to try to escape detection and removal. Keeping communication on the platform increases your security thanks to the dedicated team and systems we have in place for detecting inappropriate content and suspicious behavior. In order to make having those pre-contract conversations easier, we've implemented a new integration with Zoom. The calls are initiated directly through Upwork messages and take place via a Zoom account hosted by Upwork, so you don't need a personal Zoom account in order to start or join a meeting. The option to start a Zoom call is available on both the Upwork website and the mobile app.
Zoom was a really great integration that we just had, and that was also received really well. This whole makes sense, having the pre-contract communication happen through Upwork, because I know we've seen this firsthand in the past when users would communicate with a client or freelancer through other channels like Skype and realize the behavior brought up a red flag. And I guess this leads us to a related topic. Oftentimes, customers will come to us with questions like, is this contract or is this client legit or a scam? What is some advice you have for them?
Upwork strives to be a safe platform, and as Vlad said earlier, we have a team dedicated to ensuring your safety when doing business on our site. However, as with any online presence, there are risks and scammers who target people who are not aware of online safety processes. Often when someone falls victim to a scam, it's because they did not follow the rules of using Upwork. And the most prominent scam we see are check cashing scams, where the scammer mails you a fake check for you to deposit and then sends money back to them. So we can't stress enough Upwork's terms of service, as these rules are intended to protect you from scams. So don't start working until a contract has started. Don't accept payment off platform, and don't share your personal information such as your bank account info, IDs, etc. All of this information was already provided to Upwork, and other parties do not need it. I'd also like to mention that we do have 2 good threads that discuss some tips on how to avoid questionable jobs on Upwork, and a thread that discusses warning signs to watch out for in a job. So any freelancer can just visit these threads in the Upwork community.
Thanks. Yes, reading the TOS and understanding it gives you an idea of what actions are permitted and not allowed. We will digress a bit, still on topic, don't worry, but we'll talk more about using Upwork as a client. So we've talked about getting started on Upwork, how to be successful, the job success score, and we've touched on the TOS and how to be safe on Upwork. Let's talk about clients. How do clients get started on Upwork?
On Upwork, you can find a range of top freelancers and agencies offering their services in different categories. Once you sign up for a client account, verify your payment method, and post a job. You can post a job and review the proposals you receive and invite specific freelancers and agencies to bid on your job. Evaluate freelancers and agencies by reviewing their Upwork profile and proposal. Contact top candidates you'd like to interview via chat, voice, or video. The interview process is designed to facilitate a discussion regarding the project scope, requirements, contract terms, expectations, and related information before moving forward and sending in an offer. You can also consider setting up a separate contract for a paid test your freelancer would perform in order to test their skills.
To add to what Vlad said, clients can also opt for receiving assistance from our dedicated team, helping new clients post their jobs and invite best talent for their specific project. So for more refined talent solutions and customized programs, clients can choose from the different membership plans we have available on the website. So we have the Upwork Plus, Business, and Enterprise plans. We also have different billing methods available on the website to help clients securely pay for the services of their freelancers or their agencies.
So as I browse the client section of the community, I see a lot of mentions of disputes. Does that happen often?
Actually, of all the contracts that happen on the marketplace, disputes don't happen that often. And generally, open regular communication between the client and the freelancer, as well as using the tools that Upwork provides for contract management, all that usually prevents the need to click that dispute button. And our main goal is to educate clients about how they could use those tools to better manage their contracts and relationships with talent they hire. You can message on Upwork. You can check work diaries if it's hourly contracts. You can set weekly limits. If it's a fixed price contract, you can add milestones and configure them and release them only once you receive work. And unfortunately, a lot of disputes we see are a result of either miscommunication or a failure to utilize those available tools and processes.
Makes sense. What about clients mentioning that their freelancer ended up misrepresenting themselves?
As for freelancers misrepresenting who they are, we have several safeguards in place to reduce that risk. So for example, now we require all earning freelancers to verify their identity and earn the verification badge. To do that, freelancers not only need to submit a valid government-issued ID, but also complete a visual verification. They can either join one of our agents for a video call or take a selfie. Of course, we also have internal detection systems and checks that help identify any bad actors or violations. And actually, Dorian from Trust and Safety team recently shared more information in our community about paid and leased account fraud and things we do to address that. And of course, if you see anything suspicious, please flag it. You can use any of those flags as appropriate links on the site. Or you can also reach out to one of us in the community and we'll help forward your report to our Trust and Safety team. And I'd like to add, overall, we constantly work on improving those existing tools, but also adding new ways for clients and freelancers to safely connect, communicate, and achieve their goals on Upwork. For example, we recently announced Project Catalog, which is going to be an additional way people can use Upwork to get work done.
I'm glad you brought that up, Valeria. Tell me more about Project Catalog.
Sure. So even before in the community, freelancers would often tell us that they receive invites for jobs they aren't really interested in, or job postings that have so little information that it's just not worth their time to apply to. And in many cases, the client just doesn't know what to put into their job descriptions. They know the final product they want to receive, but they don't really know how to get there and how much it would cost. So Project Catalog will actually allow freelancers to set expectations about the cost, timeline, and deliverables. And it will also simplify how clients locate what they need on Upwork. So the idea is actually that freelancers will have more control over defining the scope, price, timeline for their projects. And the interested clients can just buy the project package.
Great. So we discussed a lot of changes that were made recently, and many have expressed concern in the community. Change can be hard for some. Should users be worried about these changes?
For as long as I've been here, there have always been changes. Upwork is constantly growing and changing, especially now that more people are turning to remote work and freelancing. Our talent pool is very large and diverse. Upwork is also attracting very different clients, and their goals and the way they prefer to use the platform may differ. So you will see different tests and new features added because we want our community to have more options. Some options may not always work for your business model, and that's okay. We will strive to still offer things that are valuable to your business model.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Avery. We've had a really good discussion today. Before we end, I wanted to ask, what do you think people join the community for? Like, why do they join us? Do you have anything to add for those who may be interested in participating in the community but don't know if they should?
I believe anybody who has used or is planning to use Upwork, or even just interested in freelancing or hiring freelancers online in general, would benefit from participating in the community. If you're looking for advice on how to handle a tricky situation or how to find better success when using Upwork to find clients or talent, or if you feel like sharing your experience or knowledge with others, feel free to post on the community boards.
Yeah, and besides all that, we've seen people who haven't even met in person, who are located in different countries, build profound and long-lasting relationships and friendships through Upwork community. So you may come here to ask how to issue a refund or improve your proposals, but we really hope you'll stick around and find a supportive network of professionals with similar goals, who are willing to share their knowledge and honest opinion. And they all have very inspiring success stories.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. And yes, please come check us out in the community at community.upwork.com. Bye.